Let's talk about Ron Paul. Let's talk about Ron Paul.
You sure?
And, yeah.
You know what happens every time you talk about Ron Paul?
Well, I know, but
Okay.
you know how this is, Lewis.
All right.
We have to talk about him. Ron Paul has spent more than any other Republican candidate per delegate and per vote.
We already got 30 messages from Paul bots already.
15 are threats. The Paul math goes like this, okay? According to his latest filing with the FEC, he's spent about $32.7 million, and he's received about 1 million votes for a cost per vote of $30.35, okay? He's won about 66 delegates for a cost per delegate total of about $500,000 per delegate. Now, I know I'm going to get emails saying I'm using delegate counts that have not yet been made official. We are estimating delegate counts. Fine. Let's throw them out, Lewis.
Okay.
Okay, we'll forget about the delegate counts. We'll talk about the cost per vote. Ron Paul's cost per vote is $30.35. Romney's cost per vote is $16, just over half of the Ron Paul cost per vote. Rick Santorum's cost per vote is only $4.56, and Gingrich's is $8.91. So, I mean, this is, I think, is a legitimate story, because when we talk about fiscal conservatism and we talk about stretching money as far as you can go and efficiency in spending, the argument can be made, and correct me if I'm wrong, that if it is costing you more than anyone else to obtain a vote, the money or something about the campaign or your candidacy is not really that efficient financially. Can we not say that, or what's the counter argument to that?
I mean, I don't have one personally.
Well, I think there's a few. I mean, to begin with, it seems like their goal, the Ron Paul campaign's goal, is to get their message out.
Okay.
Not to win an election. So even though they're spending a lot of resources getting each vote, since that's not the main goal, they are getting their message out the longer he's in the campaign and the more media coverage he gets. So,
all right,
that's one thing.
Let's explore that. Ron Paul, we do have the video of him saying, when he was asked, do you see yourself in the Oval Office? He said, not really, right? And if we look at the numbers, we know Ron Paul has absolutely no chance of being the Republican nominee and by extension of being the next president of the
But are
United
you saying
States.
he entered the race knowing he had no shot?
I'm saying something else.
Okay.
I'm saying if we agree that the goal is to build a movement and build support for his ideas rather than become the actual nominee or president, then we have to ask the question, is this way of spending money and raising money really the best thing? Wouldn't there be a better way to spend money? Now, the logical question that follows is, if he's not spending the money on standard campaign stuff like ads and mailings and people on the ground, etc., would he really be able to keep raising as much money? I think it's a false assumption to say he could spend all the money on movement building in some other way, creating grassroots organizations that will work on specific issues he cares about, or whatever else we say. He probably wouldn't be able to raise the same amount of money, because a lot of people are more likely to donate to a candidate per se rather than someone who's just movement building.
Right. And the strange thing is that people are donating, I think also know full well that he has no shot. But I guess if they're supporting his movement, then this is how you do that.
The question
and there's
is,
no better way to invest that money and to get your message out than by using the media and using the normal methods that
but Lewis, the question
someone
is,
on the campaign trail would.
Do you think his supporters would agree that the way he has spent his money and the amount that he is paying per vote and per delegate, when we do that math, is really going to, after the election's over, a year after the next election, really have been the best thing to perpetuate this Ron Paul movement? I don't know about that.
I hate to say it, but we're talking about Ron Paul supporters. So yes, I do think that they believe that.
All right, well, email me. Go to davidpakman.com, contact us, send me an email, or leave me a voicemail on this, 219-2-DAVID-P. What are your thoughts on this? I don't know. Is fiscal conservatism connected with being the one spending the most per vote in this primary, a primary process he's not going to come out on top of? Please consider liking the David Pakman Show on Facebook, facebook.com/David Pakman Show. You can get a free David Pakman Show t-shirt with a membership if you go to davidpakman.com/spring. Let's take a break. Aubrey de Grey is next, Lewis. We'll all calm down here in the studio and get ready for the Aubrey de Grey interview after the break. Stay tuned.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.